Norris, you have 8 minutes.
Thank you very much, Ciarán. I'd like to commend Senator O'Loughlin for bringing this bill. I think it's very necessary. I suppose I'm unusual, at least I hope I'm unusual in this House, in that I have known 9 men to have been murdered. I personally knew 9 men. And among them I include Declan Flynn, with whom I was quite friendly. Declan was a shy young man. He worked in Aer Lingus, and he went to Bartley Duns, which was a gay pub at the time. Some of his colleagues from work were there on a kind of jaunt, and they saw him, and they started teasing about it. He was ashamed. He never went back. But instead, he went looking for company in Fairview Park, and he was murdered for that, brutally murdered. And even worse, the judge here in the case let the young men who had committed the act off with nothing, not even a reprimand. This was a license to kill. It was a really shocking thing. I've been involved myself. Some years ago, I was talking to a friend in Parnell Street, and this trio went past me, and there was a young woman in the middle, and she grabbed my genitals. And I said, "Unhand me, madam, you know not what you touch." And with that, one of the other fellows said, "That's the fellow off the television." And the third one said, "That's the effing queer off the television." And he clouted me. So I immediately got the guards, and they caught them. And they were sentenced to pay me €1,000. And I asked the guard, could I have the address? And he said, "For what?" And I said, "So I could write and thank them." And he said, "I don't think that'd be a good idea at all." I had my lip split on my own front door. I've had death threats, some of them quite funny, actually. I mean, one man rang me and he said, "I'd like to come around there and shove a submachine gun up your arse." And then he thought for a minute and said, "Only I suppose you'd effing enjoy that too." And these are the people who are...
While you're quoting directly, it's slightly unparliamentary language.
Well, I said effing. I said effing. I wasn't aware.
I'm not going to go into it in detail.
Yes. Well, anyway, I must say, I thought this was rather odd, because I was the one who was supposed to be unbalanced and ill and abnormal and so on. Here was this creature ringing me up. I also had occasion, many years ago, there was one of the free newspapers in Galway, and they put out an edition which was full of homophobic rhetoric, violent, aggressive, and appalling. And I tried to get that looked at by the Director of Public Prosecutions, and I was told there was no basis because there was no hate crime. And that's a good illustration of how it's very necessary. And this has been noted internationally, as I think Senator O'Loughlin referred to. The UN rapporteur on the elimination of racial discrimination criticised the government for failing to reform its legal framework on hate crime and called for a clear, time-bound commitment to make the necessary changes in law. And I think that is quite significant. And it's still going on. In February of this year, a young man in Newbridge, I'm not sure if it's the same case that Senator O'Loughlin was referring to, but a young man in Newbridge was attacked and stabbed. And that's absolutely on the basis of his assumed sexuality. Now, I have had a lengthy document from a group of women who have problems with the hate crime legislation because they say it allows for the idea of gender to replace the idea of biological sex. It lets someone who identifies as the male gender to be recognized by the state as a biological male, and for someone who identifies as female to be recognized as a biological female. Now, I'm putting that on the record without comment because it was referred to me. And my final point would be this. I noticed Senator O'Loughlin is introducing an amendment, but I think she's still leaving in this idea of perception. There's perceived to be a crime by the victim. I don't think that's satisfactory at all. I think that should be removed because it is so subjective. You know, I mean, somebody shouts, "You dirty old snot," to me, and I say, "Ooh, it's because I'm a fairy." No, it's not. It's because he thinks I'm a snot. And I think this is legally challengeable as well. So I commend Senator O'Loughlin on the bill. I think it's really timely, and I hope that it goes